Today on Staying Fertile AF, we're going to talk about why preventing depopulation is important AF. Okay, so firstly, I want to talk about why I'm making these videos. Topics like fertility, longevity, and depopulation are especially interesting to me right now because I'm in my 30s, I'm not married, I don't have kids, and I'm thinking a lot about the life and future I want. And my goal here is to normalize having children later in life. Having had the opportunity to research and now talk about this has been super cathartic, and it's helped me a lot to relax. So let's explore this, and please tell me everything you know so I can learn more on the subject as well. Okay, so let's get started on today's topic. What exactly is depopulation? It's basically the decline in human population in certain areas or even globally because of things like low birth rate and high death rates. It's causing increase in aging populations and shrinking workforces. And we need to prevent this because our future depends on it. Frankly speaking, our children aren't just sources of joy. They're the ones who are going to grow up and be the innovators, the caregivers, and the leaders that our society needs to address the future challenges, advance our technology, and they're also the ones to ensure a compassionate and thriving community. Back in the day, kids were essential for family survival, helping with chores and milking the cows. Now, they almost seem like a burden until they start contributing to society, so around the age of like 20 or 25. But the value of being a parent, especially a mom, is huge, and it often goes unrecognized. Parents do so much valuable, unpaid work, and that shapes the future. These kids are going to be our future doctors, our scientists, and caregivers, solving problems like climate change, curing diseases, and maybe even taking us to Mars. How cool would that be? Our kids will be our biggest problem solvers. They'll also be the warm, caring hand for our elders that robots just won't be able to replace. So if we want our future problems solved and a compassionate society, we need to have kids. Kids are our future, and that's never been more true. Another thing to think about is how our population is changing. All around the world, birth rates are dropping. Our numbers might keep rising for the next 60 years, but people are having fewer babies. Take China, for example. The country's total fertility rate, the average number of births per woman, was relatively stable at around 1.66 until recently. By 2022, it dropped dramatically to about 1. That's far below the 2.1 needed to maintain a stable population. This trend is even more pronounced in places like South Korea, where the fertility rate has plummeted to just 0.72. That's the lowest in the world. In comparison, the United States and Australia have slightly higher fertility rates, around 1.6, so where China used to be, but that's still below the replacement level. In the US, immigration actually plays a crucial role in keeping the population stable. This trend in declining birth rates and aging populations is happening everywhere. What's the big deal? For societies to function well, we need people in their prime working years. Young and middle-aged people do most of the work and generate the wealth. When people retire, they contribute less, and seniors are the ones that generate most healthcare costs. Historically, there were more young people to take care of fewer older people. Now, imagine a society where most people are over the age of 65. The financial burden for the young would be huge and unsustainable, even for the richest countries. Even in the best case scenarios, people will have to work much longer. Technology might help, but we can't rely on that to solve our problems. We can already see this happening in China, where the working population is expected to drop by 23% by 2050. A declining population doesn't lead to prosperity. People working does. Without enough young people, infrastructure could collapse, and resources alone won't save us. Something else worth thinking about, at least politically, is that an aging society might elect a government that's more conservative and focused more on preserving wealth rather than investing in innovation. This isn't the kind of society that can handle long-term issues like climate change. It's people's ideas and work that leads to prosperity, the prosperous future we need. The world's population is expected to grow for the next 60 years before it shrinks again, and we need to solve climate change before then. So, what are some solutions for the depopulation crisis? Government incentives. Governments can play a huge role to encourage families to have more children. In Japan, for example, they offer tax deductions and allowances to ease the burden of raising a family. One of these incentives allows families to reduce their taxable income by claiming deduction for each child. So currently, families in Japan can get approximately 3,800 yen per child, so that's like 3,500 US dollars. That means a family with 2 children would get about 7,000 US dollars in taxable income. This can lead to significant tax savings, making it more financially viable for families to consider having more children. For Japan, these types of incentives are part of a broader strategy to address declining birth rates and can help making raising a family more affordable. And this is crucial for countries like Japan, where the cost of living is so high, but also the population is aging rapidly. Another thing governments can do beyond tax deductions is offer direct financial support for families. This, for example, could be in the form of child benefits, where governments provide monthly payments to help cover the cost of raising a child. This is very common in the Nordic countries and has been proven very effective in supporting families. Subsidized childcare is also a very powerful incentive. In Germany, for instance, the governments heavily subsidize childcare, which significantly reduces financial burden on parents. And it also makes it more affordable for them to return to work. And I can just see how this would probably help encourage a healthy work life and family life balance. Also, we need better parental leave policies. That's crucial, so parents can take the necessary time to care for their newborns without the fear of losing income or their job security. Like, this is obvious. The high cost of raising children is obviously a significant factor for people. So by reducing these costs through subsidies is a no-brainer. Direct payments, supportive policies, like reducing taxes for larger families, governments can help alleviate financial pressures and encourage higher birth rates. Fun fact, in Finland, new parents receive a baby box filled with things like clothing and blankets and toiletries for newborns. This gesture not only helps reduce initial expenses, it also reflects on the cultural commitment to support families right from the start. Another freaking incentive is fertility treatment policies. We need to make fertility treatments accessible and affordable because this can help families or couples who are struggling to conceive naturally. Unfortunately, fertility challenges and discussions or topics around that, it's still pretty taboo and it's a sensitive topic for a lot of people. So normalizing fertility treatments can help more couples start a family. Finally, the last thing that I think could aid in this depopulation issue is cultural recognition. I think it's important to recognize that having children is so valuable for society. We live in a connected world where everyone relies on each other. But despite being more connected than we've ever been before, we also live in a very individualistic world where our personal needs and goals often take priority. Encouraging a positive view of parenthood and supporting parents can help the shift in cultural attitudes towards having more children. So we also need to address why people are having fewer children. In many countries, women are having kids later in life because of career pursuit and pressures, financial instability, and personal choices. Society often expects women to balance both career and starting a family, which can delay starting a family. Men also face pressure to be the providers, and that also affects family planning. Our individualistic culture often means people prioritize exploring life, traveling, achieving personal goals before thinking or choosing parenthood. This shift means people are having kids way later or not even at all. We need to create an environment where having children and achieving personal goals isn't mutually exclusive. Alright, conclusion. Preventing depopulation isn't just about maintaining population numbers. It's about ensuring a balanced, functioning society that can address and solve future challenges. Kids are our future problem solvers, caregivers, and so much more. By supporting families through government incentives, social support, and cultural recognition, we can create a sustainable future for everybody. Thanks for watching this video on an issue that I think is super important to keep exploring. And if you found that this video relates to you, then please comment below or like and subscribe to Staying Fertile AF. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about the issues of depopulation? Do you have any ideas or solutions? These are just some that I've come across. Let me know and let's get the conversation started. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.